so today what we're going to do, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks. And actually, it's more than tips and tricks. I'm going to give you the real embodiment that you need to really take forward in order to be selling at this 100K offer level. Now, first off, I want to address the idea of 100K offers before we get started, because 100K is an arbitrary number that I picked about 5 years ago, because when I started this business, I found that the people that I was working with were not selling anywhere near their potential. And it was a number that was so far ahead of what most of the clients that I was working with. I mean, some of these clients had millions and millions of followers, but they had, they were selling $2,000 coaching packages and all sorts of things. And so I pushed them to this 100K level. But what I absolutely want to say to you today is that I've stopped using 100K quite frequently in my marketing because it is keeping my clients small. And 100K is also, a lot of the people that we work with have already been working at that 100K level, or have sold a couple of 100K offers, and they're like, no, I want to go into the millions. So if we could just all agree that the 100K number is just an arbitrary number, we're just going to use that today just to give us a signpost that we can work towards. But I want you to think about the number that feels really juicy for you. And that might be in the multi-millions. It might be 50,000. I've got no judgment. I just want you to think bigger. My aim from today is that you think much, much, much bigger, not incrementally bigger, but much bigger than you've ever thought before in terms of your pricing and your offers. And I'll give you the ways that we've been able to do that and lots of examples, because I know that having the evidence of possibility is always really important when you're seeing something that is so big. All right. So today we're going to address this 100K offers, iconic empires for founders and experts. First off, just let me give you just a small background on me, because this, I think, frames everything really well. I started out as a journalist. I then went on to market and do leasing for what we call shopping centres in Australia, what you would call malls in the States. And when I went on maternity leave, I met my lovely husband, went on maternity leave, had always wanted to run a business. My husband is a diplomat, he's risk averse. So it was on maternity leave, I've got one shot, I've got to make this work. That business that I started 18 years ago, my daughter Penny is now 18, became one of the largest lifestyle businesses in Australia. So over 9.5 years, we grew that. It was multifaceted. It had content component, it had a print on demand component, it had a wholesale component, and e-commerce component. I was an influencer before that was a thing. I had the books, I was on TV, I did all of those things. We had a large social media following at the time. It was all Facebook at the time, but hundreds of thousands of followers on there. I sold that when that became not fun anymore. I literally had just taken on some investors. I was standing on the floor watching this beautiful sea of people that was working towards this big dream that I had. And I went, you know what, this ain't fun anymore. And that's when we decided to divest and sell that company. That was my first big exit. I went on to help another one of my friends exit his company for about 10 times what I had sold mine for. So that was another really big experience for me. And then I went on to do another one of those, which was about double that. And I thought, I'm getting caught in M&A. This is not what I want to do, but I don't want to go drink Mai Tais on the beach. So I took the time to really seriously think about what I wanted to do. And that's when I started this company. So it is now 5 years old. It is called Iconic Influencers. At the beginning, I launched it as Business Bravery, and the idea was that I would work with a very small group of clients and help them with their branding and their website presence. Very quickly, I realized as I was attracting amazing people that they didn't know how to commercialize what they were doing anywhere near the way that I knew how to do it. And so we started creating these 100K offers. We started creating these iconic empires and omni-media empires. We started working with some people who had a lot of influence but hadn't commercialized it really well. That's really what we do today. People come to me to build their legacy brands and build their legacy businesses and price at a level that is congruent with their expertise. So that's why we're here today because I know that that message will resonate with all of you. No matter whether you are a coach, a speaker, an author, whatever it might be, what I want you to take out of today is that there is a place at the premium end of the market that you may not have ever opened your eyes to before. And I want you to be open to that today. And I want you to walk out of this call, out of this training, and know that even if you just double what you're doing and you work with half the clients and we've got nothing else going on, but we've improved your profitability and we've given you a bit more space and time to pick and choose the clients that you're working with, even if we just do that, I will have won. But for some of you, I will have pushed you to that level where you realize that you can create an iconic empire and you can be selling multi-millions of dollars in one transaction. That's really epic, and I'm really excited to share that with you today. All right, so let's frame this up. First things first. So we are in a situation at the moment where over the last 5 years, I have spoken to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of business owners. I'll call them founder-based businesses because they could be interior designers, wedding planners, photographers. They could be accountants. They could be financial planners. They could be coaches, consultants, agency owners. But let's call them founder-led businesses just for the sake of it. All right. What generally happens when you start those businesses is, in almost every circumstance, you start with one-to-one. So we offer it at a low price. The margins are just simply not there. And we get really frustrated because the time to deliver that and is really, it really starts to grate on you. And you're like, why am I doing this? I may as well just go and work in a company again. Like, I may as well be employed. And that's when we go to Facebook, Instagram, we do some Google searches, and we probably end up in the world of scalability, right? And that's when you'll scale coaches are everywhere in the world, right? They will tell you to start with passive volume-based products, right? So start at the bottom, build your list, build a big audience, focus on sharing your breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Instagram, and then build this great big audience, or start dancing on TikTok, sell these passive volume-based products, and then move your way up to scalable programs and offers in multiple tiers. So for you coaches, that will be, put a mastermind together, start, selling at that $10,000. Imagine if you had 1,000 people and you sold them 10,000, that stuff, right? There's so many gurus selling you that stuff, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. But in my experience, this is the problem. They're missing the pot of gold at the top. There is this pot of gold that I know is available to all of you, and it's in the premium and ultra premium end of the market. So the reason that they don't go there is for quite a number of reasons. I've heard every objection you could possibly imagine, but here are the ones that I hear most often. And so I want to just address these with each of you before we get into the guts of what I'm going to talk about today. Maybe you'd offered something you'd offered premium before, or you'd offered one-on-one, but you'd offered at a low price and the margins simply weren't there. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to not do that today. Maybe it took loads of time to deliver and you got stuck on that idea of scale and growth. Again, I'm going to show you how to do this today properly so that we don't end up in that situation again. Maybe you don't even believe that your market will pay you premium prices. So again, I'm going to address that with you today because I have not yet found a niche anywhere, whether it's in knitting or entertainment or whatever. I have not found a niche yet where there is not a premium end of the market available. So can we just agree that we're going to not go there today? All right. And then also perhaps they don't believe that their offer is worth premium prices. Again, let me address that today. I've got plenty of examples of clients where we've turned a $20,000 offer into a multi-million-dollar offer, sold it to a different market with a different positioning, but it was exactly the same bloody thing. Exactly the same. So I promise you, with the right positioning, the right branding, and the right packaging and the right targeting, you absolutely can do this. All right. And maybe they didn't even know that it was possible to charge these prices. So if that is you, then again, I'm going to address that today because I'm going to give you the evidence of possibility. All right, we're going to talk about lots of different examples so you can see it in action. All right, so we started selling 100K offers about 5 years ago. That was the first thing that I did, was selling website branding for 100K, which seemed audacious at the time, but I knew that I was worth it. I'd just come off the back of selling my own business. I'd created multi-million-dollar business. I'd sold it. I'd gone on to do that with another 2 businesses. I knew I was worth it. What I didn't realize was that what I was doing was actually positioning myself as an icon. And I was doing all the things I'm going to talk to you about today. I was doing that naturally. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. Okay. We've now worked with hundreds of clients and had them successfully sell these 100K to $1 million plus offers. So I've got a lot of evidence about what works and what doesn't work. We've definitely had clients where it hasn't worked, and I've also been able to pinpoint why. So in most circumstances, and I'll take you through that today, because there's, obviously it's important to know what to do, but it's also really important for us to address where is it not going to go well, or what do you need to do? What's the personal work that you need to do? Perhaps with someone like John, on mindset and those sorts of things that really put you in the frame of mind to really get you to this level. So we've done it across all sorts of different areas. We've done it with coaches, consultants, authors, speakers, entertainers, founders, entrepreneurs, athletes, experts, you name it, we've done it. So let's talk about it now. So let's talk about the inside of my business, because that's always, I feel, like a really good place to start. Our business has been structured around a premium pricing model using a luxury business strategy. So I often say to my clients, tell me what you're best in the world at. And if you asked me, what am I best in the world at? I am the best in the world at working with elite experts to help them create a premium pricing model using a luxury business strategy. That is it. Right there. Now, that might sound like a little bit of gobbledygook, but you're going to understand what I'm talking about by the end of today. And what this actually looks like inside my business, because I think this is always really helpful to see under the hood of someone's business. We really have 3 tiers of product or offers in the marketplace. So what that looks like down the bottom here, and this was the last thing we did, is we have some scalable coaching programs, which I see as an incubator. We don't advertise them. I don't talk about them, but I've got a very small, intimate group of people that I work with called Iconic Society, and it's about $17K a year. These are my incubator clients. These are the ones where I'm working with them to help them get to that next level, because ultimately I want my clients in here. And this is my premium offers. And this would have been at the top of our offers at the beginning of our business, but now it's kind of moved down into the center part of our business, our mid-tier offer, which is our iconic representation. This is our agency offer. And what we do here is we represent our clients, and it's a combination of strategy and branding, amplification, so marketing services, and talent agency. So we represent our clients in the market, and we're getting them book deals, TV deals, those sorts of things. And how is that paid for? It could be a number of different ways. Generally, it's retainer. Once I have moved to getting to know someone really, really well, after about 12 to 24 months, we can also move into a position where we've got either retainer and revenue share, or we could even do a partnership. And that's when we move up to this top tier up here, where I've really become an investor. So a lot of my clients that I'm working with in the longer term, where we've got a really close relationship, I end up working with them on actually investing in their businesses. So that's how we're structured. And I think that's important to see under the hood so you can see the evidence right there. And I'll go through a few more of these today. Is that helpful, guys, just to see how that might be structured for you? All right. What you won't see in here is 150,000 offers. If you look me up if you go to kathrynporritt.com, or if you go to Iconic Influencers, you'll just see this, because that's the heart and soul of what we do. That is the only thing we advertise and talk about. That's it. No, I don't talk about this, and I don't talk about this. I talk about this, And then by talking about the thing that is the heart and soul or the nucleus of our business, we actually attract great, great people. So even if they can't afford this and they are, whoops, I don't know what I just did there. Even if they can't afford the premium offer and they're only at the scalable coaching program place, they're aspiring to be there. I get great people because I talk to the higher end of the market. All right. So why ultra premium? Because it puts you in complete control of your income. That to me, particularly in this kind of economic environment, is so important. I know I can turn on a premium offer anytime I want. If I want to do some renovations to my home and I want to raise $500,000, I just need to go sell a couple of new clients. It's very easy. If I want to raise $500,000 selling $27 widgets or whatnots, that is really bloody hard. So when you're at this end and you are constantly working on relationships and you know how to sell at the ultra premium level, you can be in complete control. And it doesn't mean that you are at the mercy of the economic or political conditions, right? It also puts you in the driver's seat for maximum commercialization opportunities, because once you're selling at that ultra premium and you are dominating your niche, then it is amazing what lands in your lap. So I work with some really high profile clients that are selling at this level, and the things that just land in their lap are extraordinary. And you want to be that dominant brand selling at that ultra premium level. It's amazing what I get to say no to for those clients. All right, so you want to add some premium offers and become iconic. I want to take you through some actual examples right now so that you can see how this might work for you and how you might be able to transform what you're already selling at, say, $2,000 or $20,000 into something that's worth $100K or even $1 million plus. So what is selling right now for my clients? The first thing that I get almost all of my clients to work on is the private offer. So if you are an influencer, a speaker, a coach, a consultant, an agency owner, an author, an entertainer, an athlete, this is the easiest thing that you can do, is create a private offer where you are working for, say, 3 months to a year, privately, in person or virtual or a combination of both, with people individually. This is individual attention. Now, this is not a done for you offer. This is you get to be side by side with someone and you're guiding them, you're showing them, you're even in the presence of them. And the idea of this is it could be, for example, could be business coaching with, say, 2 intensives, and then you've got some regular coaching meetings to ensure optimum results. They might have access to you via Voxer or Slack with some private attention. So I'll give you a couple of examples of how this might work across different areas. So I have a client who is in the aerospace area. And you might go, okay, well, she's in aerospace. I mean, come on, that's a huge, it's a big corporate world where everyone's got lots of money. All right, what she's doing is she will work with a client for a month for $250K. $250K, 30 days. And she'll get them all set up for success. And then following on from that, so she will work with startup companies or companies that want growth in that area. And so she was a consultant before. Now we are right at the top of that niche. $250K, 30 days to get them really focused on what it is that they need to do, give them a blueprint for growth. And then from there, she will work with them in the longer term. And that's when she'll sell them a multi-million-dollar or even equity package to work with them in the longer term to help them to embed this in their business. Another example of that could be a coach. So I've got many coaches who use this. A coach who just works with someone for $100K to $1 million a year, and it's coaching services, advisory services. This is not consulting services, nor is this agency services. This is not done for you. Does that make sense? Yeah, this is one of the easiest things. Once you've got yourself positioned at the highest end of the market, once you are dominating a niche and you are the premium brand in the market, it's extraordinary what people will pay to be in the presence of greatness. That's what we're doing here. It's the presence of greatness. You are the greatness, right? Remember that. You're the icon. Okay, we'll talk about how to do that in a minute. All right, then we've got the done for you private offer, which is what we do. So we're an agency. Heart and soul of my business is agency. So we do done for you private offers. So 100K to $1 million plus, and it could be with revenue share, it could be with equity. It's how we do things around here. So it could be 3 months to a year, could be longer than that. But the idea of this is that we have an agency or consultant model where you start with something like a strategy, then you go into implementation or the management of, say, funnels or ads or whatever it might be. So for us, I just showed you under the hood of our business. So 250K to work with us is generally the number. And you work with us over a year plus, we could do a combination of revenue share plus a retainer for that. But for a lot of my clients, I'll give you another example of that. So I have a client who is a fractional CEO for construction businesses. She's an Australian lady. She came to me when she was selling at about 20K for exactly the same thing. I reframed and repositioned what she was doing. We are selling exactly the same thing. So she used to do fractional CEO for high growth family owned construction businesses. And she was getting 20K a year to do that. It was ridiculous. She was being robbed. She was robbing herself. The last deal we did with her was a $40 million deal for exactly the same thing. And that was a combination of retainer plus equity. So the 40 million is not 40 million in her bank account today. That's forward thinking investment revenue, but she's got a retainer plus she's got equity in a company. That is a $40 million deal. Okay, so can you see the difference? It's just a positioning. It's just positioning at the higher end of the market. VIP day or intensive is what I get most of my clients to start with. So for those of you who've never done this before, this is generally where I would get you to start. If you want to start a model, the first thing that you should do is think about, what do I do in the longer term that I could put into some sort of intensive or VIP day without actually doing the work for people. So this is getting someone to pay you for a long sales call effectively. Did that sink in? So the idea here is that you would have someone come to you, and I'll give you, let's do an example. So I have a client who is called the Luxury Vegan. What she does is she works with celebrities, A-listers, that sort of thing. And what she will do is she will consult to them to help them to embed a luxury vegan lifestyle in their lives. So she'll go to someone's house, spend a couple of days with them. She'll go through their wardrobe, through their interiors, through their nutrition, through their fridge, she'll work with their chef, she'll work with their beautician, she'll work with everyone. She'll work with their stylist, and she'll help them embed a vegan lifestyle into their lives. And she'll do that over a couple of days, and she'll charge between 50 to 100, 150K for that. It's good money. But the idea is it's intensive, but she's not doing the doing there, right? She gives them the blueprint in that short period of time. Then what she will do is, a lot of the people that she works with after that couple of days want to work with her in the long term. That's when we flip back 2 screens and we do the private offer. So do you see what I'm doing there? So the front end offer with this blueprint effectively gets you in a position where you're having someone pay to be sold to for the long term. If I'm going to be really bloody minded and commercial about it, that's effectively what we're doing. Okay. And it's incredible. I know that maybe you've seen VIP days, or maybe you've seen intensives before, and maybe you've charged, I don't know, $2,000, $3,000 for those sorts of things. I used to sell my VIP days for 50K. Now, that was before COVID. And I used to do it in a workshop. So I didn't even have sales calls with people. I literally just invited people to a workshop. I'd have 6 or 10 people like we're doing now. I'd take them through the process. At the end of it, I would say, if you want to spend a day with me, I'll embed this in your business. It's 50K. We'd have people putting their hands up. You've got the right people in the right room with the right framing, with the right person who's speaking with such certainty and confidence. It's amazing what people will pay. And it's absolutely worth it, because if I can see a way for them to transform a 20K offer into a $40 million offer, is that worth 50K? Every day of the week, right? Every day. All right. So think about how that might work for you, how that might apply to you, because this, if you're working with me, that is the first thing that I'll get you to do, is how can you transform this into an intensive? Generally, this will be the first thing that we do. Once you get really, really good at this, you don't need the intensive to be able to sell the bigger offers. But to begin with, we start here. Okay, sound good? I'm seeing some nodding, so that's really good. So for those of you who like the idea of events and those sorts of things, I want to give you a couple of other ideas, because while those first three are the absolute bedrock of everything that we do, the first three are the things that are selling without too much trouble right now. But if you want to go a little bit sexier and you want to do something a little bit outside the box, I want to give you two other ideas. So we've all been to a retreat or wanted to run a retreat, or, you know, I know LeadHERship Global's got an incredible one, Colleen and I were just talking about coming up. So VIP retreats, amazing model. If that's something that's really exciting to you, then think about flipping that from how can I get, I don't know, 30 people in a room to do a yoga retreat for a few $1,000s, to how can I make this so rich and so potent and so powerful for my market that I can get 6 people in a room that are hand selected, and we're going to do something so powerful, so paradigm shifting, so transformational, that money is no object. It all comes down to, what can you do that is so transformational, so powerful, you being right at the top end of your market so people will pay to be in proximity to power? And also, how do you target the right people, get the right people in the right room? It all comes down to that qualification process, okay? So juicy transformation that is so powerful, rich, number one. Number two, getting the right people in the right room. Yes. So hand picking the right people, being really clear about what you're saying no to and what you're saying yes to. Gating is really important. And then number three, making sure that you are the icon. So people want proximity to power. You have the power, you need to step into that powerful brand. You need to embody that. That is really important. You can probably hear the certainty in my voice. I absolutely know I've got any of you in a room, we spend the time together, we will transform your business. That level of certainty is what you need to bring to the table, because anyone will buy into that. It's not because I'm a great salesperson. It's not because I'm, particularly charismatic. But what is charismatic, or what is mesmerizing, what is attractive about what I do and what my clients do, is their level of certainty. That is really powerful. All right. So VIP retreats, we can do that model, but let's be really clear about who's in the room, what's that powerful transformation, paradigm shifting theme of what we're doing there. And then we need to make sure that you are positioned at that level. And then I have clients that are selling these for 100K to 500K. Get in the right room with the right people. So I was talking to one of my clients who he's in M&A, so mergers and acquisitions. I've just started working with him, and we're going to be doing this model. What we're going to do is we're going to put some really powerful investors in a room with some really powerful startups. So we're just cutting down the time that it takes for the startups to get in front of the investors, creating an extraordinary table around that for a couple of days, where it's like a pitch fest, but it's much more than that. They get to deeply understand who's in that room, what the powerful thing is that they're building. The investors get to know them. What an extraordinarily powerful facilitation that he's going to create in that room. All right. So what's your version of that? Another one that a lot of my clients are doing, who have been very successful at creating the either the done for you model or the private model, is what is that next step? So once someone's been working with you for say 12 months, a lot of you probably are used to this idea of, oh, we stop working with them. If you look at luxury brands, They work with their clients or their customers forever. You are forever a Bugatti customer. You are forever a Tiffany customer, a Cartier customer, right? So once you're inside the fold, you become that for life. So think about that for your business and what that might mean. And this is where I get really excited. I work with I'll give you a couple of examples of this with a couple of the celebrities that I work with, because this is where it gets really exciting for me, for them. They are often, if you've got hundreds of thousands or millions of followers, you're on TV, whatever. The idea of creating this VIP society where people can actually go travel with you or get to experience things with you at the higher end of the market is really exciting. So creating this VIP society where one of the people that I work with is a very, very high profile real estate agent who's on TV. And the idea of them traveling for 3 or 4 times a year to all of these really exciting places for investment purposes, to get to see, dine with them, experience with them, see the open doors, the doors that are open to them, walk the red carpets with them, go to the VIP lounges with them. That sort of thing is extraordinarily exciting. Now, for those of you who don't have hundreds of millions of followers, but you're potentially maybe a coach or whatever it might be, one of the things that you could do here, if you think about, okay, I've got my people in a group or I've worked with them privately for 12 months. What if I took my best 5 to 6 clients and I created a secret society or a little VIP club where we went off together and we did platinum VIP curated experiences together? It's not advertised. No one gets in there without your getting the magical key that you give them. But people will pay an extraordinary amount of money to be with the right peer group, have extraordinary experiences, and be in proximity to power. So again, think about what that might mean for your business and how you could do that with you as the icon, your deepest teachings and learnings, a secret, intimate, and ridiculously experiential community. Sound good? Is this getting your juices flowing, guys? Yeah? Excellent. All right. So I'm going to give you some rules for creating these offers. And excuse my expletive here, but it's used intentionally. All right. So what we're going to do with the creating the rules, your rules around creating the offer are, it needs to be efficient and effective, because people paying you a lot of money do not have time for you to muck around and faff about. So what can you strip out that gets you to efficient and effective? Strip it out. Okay. Make it powerful and potent. How can you make what you already do so much more powerful and potent than you already do it? If you're an accountant, how can you twist that around or add to it so it is best in the world, world class? Because it's probably not just doing someone's taxes. It's probably finding extraordinary ways to help someone to create a lifelong legacy taxation strategy, and then go and meet with some people in some places around the world that might allow them to develop businesses, that create a tax haven or something. I don't know. I'm making that up on the fly. But it's not just a coach that can do this, is my point. So my client, who's an interior designer, that's exactly what we did. Turnkey solution, where part of her offer is not just interior design, it is the whole thing, soup to nuts. She works with the architect, she works with the builders, she does the whole thing, works with the interior design. She travels around the world to buy with the clients because they love that. She puts them up in the world's most extraordinary places. We have done a deal with one of the 7-star resort companies, Como, where part of what we do is whenever she travels, the client actually goes and stays in Como resorts. When she needs them to be out of the house, they go and stay across a Como resort somewhere. Like, think about how can you make your offer so extraordinary that someone will pay these sorts of prices. It doesn't mean that you have to deliver more. Oftentimes it's less. Oftentimes it's partnerships. But how can you make that experience so potent and powerful that people want to pay at that level? How can you make it experiential? like I was just saying, like how can you make that really luxury and how can you provide a white glove service? And this is very, very important. Like I said, intentional expletive here. Do not add shit because you think it makes it more valuable. Just because your mindset is I've never spent $1 million before on an offer in my life, or I've never spent $100,000 on something in my life, don't let that get in the way of you really thinking through what actually people who are ultra high net worth or companies will pay at this level. What they invest in is something that is efficient and effective, that is potent and powerful, that is experiential, proximity to power, and also has a white glove service. Then strip away all of the shit. Don't do the, oh, I've got to throw this in here because it looks more powerful. That looks more valuable if I add A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Probably A, B, C, D, E, F, G can be stripped out, get back to the heart, because that's what people are going to pay you for. All right, selling those offers, some rules around that. By invitation, really important. We don't do funnels around here. Okay, so all of that stuff around, I need you to create an SLO thing and I need to do a funnel around your get a lead magnet, all that stuff. We don't do that around here. We position you at the highest end of the market and then we literally go and pick and choose who you want to work with. Literally. You're marketing all that time that you would normally spend on creating funnels and ads and emails and all of the things. So you think about, you want to do $1 million launch, you do it using the launch strategy that almost everyone in the mainstream will tell you how to do. You're going to spend weeks and weeks and weeks writing ads, creating funnels, creating automation sequences, creating payment links, all of that. Hundreds of hours. Take those hundreds of hours and literally go and pick the 100 people that you want to do business with. Go and get to know them, create a relationship with them. That's your marketing. That is literally all you have to do. And then we can add amplification to that. We can absolutely do things like social media and speaking and all of those things. But literally, if all you did was take that time that you were putting into your funnels and your ads and your social media breakfast Instagram posts and your TikTok dancing, if you took all of that time and put it into selecting the 100 people that you literally want to do business with, intentionally create a relationship with those 100 people, I promise you your pipeline will be so rich it's ridiculous. Okay, so by invitation. So we sell by invitation, we sell by relationship. We also sell, now this is really important. You are the icon here. The certainty that I'm bringing here, you need to bring that to the conversation. Know that they would be privileged to be in the proximity to you, for you to choose them and work with you. That's a big twist in thinking from the start at the bottom, work your way up, scattergun approach, ads, go through the funnel, figure out, have a whole bunch of sales calls. Really big difference. So you need to bring that to the table. And also you need to figure out a way to gate yourself off. And what I mean by that is you can't be available to everyone. Focus on those 100 people. Again, an arbitrary number, but focus on the relationships with those 100 people that will transform your business entirely. Gate yourself off, and you're only available to those top tier people. You can, by all means, send emails out to your list, but talk to the 100 people. Talk to the people you really want to do business with. The other millions of people will be inspired by you talking only to that very top end of the market, okay? So don't get enticed by the sexiness and then start selling by volume. There's a way of doing that. So even if you look at a Chanel, etc., the way that we've created our business, there is a way to sell by volume. There is a way to do it that also still protects you as an icon. Instead, what we want to do is increase the price and sell to fewer people. So as you get really good at this, increase your price from 100K to 250K. Increase your price from 250K. Try and do a $40 million deal that has some equity in it. There's a number. Pretty exciting. Yeah? All right, then delivering these 100K offers. So I would love you to think about how can your market experience you rather than have you teach them. So right now, probably what you're doing, if you're in coaching, you're a speaker, you're a consultant, etc., you're probably teaching people how to do things, right? Twist that and think about how your market can experience you instead. That's a really important framing that I think is going to help you. Another thing to think about is what is most fascinating for you and your expanded vision of possibility. So, what do you want to see for yourself, and what do you want? How do you really want to create your business? Not what does the market want from you, because you are the leader of this business. They probably don't know what they want, because then they're not attuned to it. So what do you want? What is your expanded vision of possibility here? How do you want to live your life? So I went from that volume-based business to a luxury business and intentionally pick and choose who I work with. What's your version of that? And then in selling, that's the key, is when you're selling to someone, show them that expanded vision of possibility to them. That is captivating, mesmerizing. I have almost 100% conversion rate whenever I step into a room and talk to someone, because I can always see that expanded vision of possibility and I can paint it really well for someone. And I defy you to not be, enchanted by that and want to get on board and go for it. Okay, and be willing to invest at whatever level. So don't fall into that trap of mainstream delivery and put everything into it. Think about how you can innovate for your most premium clients. One of my high profile clients who's in coaching, she had an epiphany one day, this was a couple of years ago. And I remember her saying to me, oh my God, I've just realized people are paying for me to learn, on the go. They're witnessing me learning and innovating. I don't have to be perfect because I'm a leader. I'm the Pied Piper. People are actually watching me, witnessing me innovating, witnessing me truly leading. And this is so juicy and so good.